Hello and welcome to Bitcoin Bootcamp. I'm Kai and today we are listening what Christoph, my co-host, has to tell about Island Obonjan and the Zitadelle 2026 gathering of the 21 organization and so on. So without further ado, let's go and talk and ask everything about the happening from Christoph. So, how are you, Christoph, today?
Yeah, good. Hi. Yeah, hi, I'm Christoph. And I'm very enthusiastic to talk more about this great event, which just happened the last 4 days.
So, for people who never had heard of Zitadelle, what is it and how did it end up on a private island in Croatia this year?
Yeah, it's actually an event which happens every year. And it was my first time. It's organized by the 21 community. It's actually a club, which is a big community in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. And yeah, if you have interest in Bitcoin, you have to go on their website to check out if there is a meetup around your area where you're living. In case that you're from Switzerland, Germany, or Austria, go to 21.space. So this is the website, and it's a very, I would say, an informal event where which lasts usually 3 days, 4 days in this time. And it was the first time that it was held in Croatia, a beautiful island, which was actually our place to be. It's an island. I'm not sure, Kai, if it's a private island. I think maybe it belongs to the Croatian. I don't know if it's government or if it's really a private island, but beside the Bitcoin Zitadelle event, everybody can go in summertime in there to rent a tent. It's a kind of glamping area with different categories, with a mobile home, with different tents, but it's a very nice place.
Okay, so if we go back to the arrival day, what is the feeling about getting off the boat from Šibenik onto Obonjan and knowing that you are entering on a fiat-free zone for 4 days?
It actually started even a little earlier in the airplane where I was sitting with my wife, and one guy just sat on the left side of me and just was scrolling on the mobile phone, and I just saw, okay, it's Zitadelle. So I met already the first Bitcoiner in the airplane, and we had a very interesting discussion. So yeah, if you see it, Schurke 85, best greetings to you. It was a very nice start into our journey, starting off from Frankfurt to Split, and from Split it was round about an hour taxi drive to Šibenik, which is close to the ocean, a little bit towards north in Croatia from Split. And over there, there was 2 options. We actually speculated to take the speedboat because I think it was 2:30 where the last ferry, which was organized by 21 to get us to the island. But the ferry was very late. It was delayed, so we got the last ferry at the end. So it took us a little bit longer, but it was a very nice ferry ride to the island, full of Bitcoiners, and you could see it directly with the flag and with all the Bitcoiners. Which the ship was very orange, in other words.
Sounds great, Christoph. This year you went there with your wife, and you learned that maybe next year you could take your kids with you. How does a Bitcoin conference work as a family trip, in your opinion? And what was the kids' program like in there? Did you make any findings?
I think it was a best place to be with the family. So first of all, the weather was perfect, full of sun, nearly, I don't know, 25 to 30 degrees Celsius temperature-wise. And there was a lot of kids around, which was fantastic. And what I also have to say, a big compliment for the organizers, because it was organized, but also strongly supported by the community. So there was no, let's say, chief of kindergarten, which was actually organized or booked. It was it was parents who organized it from the community to have a kids program. And I didn't took part in the kids program. There was a lot of other, let's say, events. Therefore, I cannot really tell much about the kids program. There was only one coincidence where there was a workshop close to the pool area where the kids, they got their pens and papers and could draw and play with kind of table tennis balls to throw it into cups and to win a prize. Like it was a very, very nice one. But it was a little bit hard to follow, let's say, the workshop conversation with all this background noise. But one father told me that the family area was a pool area. So the families with the kids were mainly in the pool area, and over there was also, let's say, kind of kids program.
When talking about living the circular economy, like you just had there. Fiat is basically banned at Zitadelle. Walk us through a normal day. How did you actually pay for food, drinks, and everything?
Yeah, I have to say, I think it was a real challenge for 21 to host a fully Bitcoin standard and Bitcoin, including Bitcoin payments event. Because of the organization which take care of let's say the accommodation and stuff, and there was also a kiosk and restaurants where there was a challenge with that, and there, for example, the kiosk only accepted euro still, but there was a kind of arm band or with a chip inside. I think it was NFC based, which we could upload. With 50 euros, and it was at the end not paid in euros, but it was paid with Lightning in Satoshis. So we paid to 21 actually the sets, and then 50 euros were uploaded. So in this case, you can still see that all the parties need to be on a Bitcoin standard in order to host a fully Bitcoin-based event when it comes to payments. The rest was, I would say, fully on Lightning. There was, for example, also people who were selling stuff like merch, like I don't know, shirts or bathing clothes, right, which you can buy, or paintings, books you could buy, stuff like that. And this was definitely, of course, from Bitcoiners to Bitcoiners, therefore fully on Bitcoin standard. Yeah.
All right. So we still have some challenges also in Obonjan, but at least part of it was working as we Bitcoin maximalists hope. So. About Lightning payments, and for people who has never made a Lightning payment, how does it feel different from a tap of a card, just a credit card payment?
What was a really great experience is this kind of peer-to-peer, so from person to person transfer of sets, right? I mean, there was, for example, a band playing in the theater, or also my wife, she organized the morning meditation, and there was different kind of also sportive events, talks and stuff like that, and at the end you could like value for value, right? You could just send some sets as a compliment, or as a transfer of saying thank you to another person, and this just went instantly. The other person just directly saw, okay, that the payment was received in just milliseconds, and it was just again a great experience to see that the technology is working on the Lightning layer. This was really nice to see. And what was also a big topic, it has nothing to do with Lightning now, but comes also into this area of big topics, is the topic privacy. Because especially when talking AI, or when talking about big players like Google, where your data is collected, there is also an alternative way to make sure that you're still a private person and that you own your own data. It's a trade-off as everything in our life, but privacy, I think, was one of the most important topics which I've learned, at least from my perspective. Yeah.
So, to be clear, I didn't completely get it. So, how is it different from tapping a card to make a Lightning payment?
So it's pretty easy. Just like a QR code which you scan, and the QR code by one person. So one example is I went to Herr Toshi. Big greetings, Herr Toshi, if you see that video. It was just also a great experience. And this guy is actually cutting and receiving as an invoice payment the Satoshis. And what he did, he just opened the Lightning wallet, generated in the wallet a QR code. I could scan the QR code and just send the Satoshis to him. So this was just you just simply need your mobile phone, use a Lightning app like Blink or Wallet of Satoshi or Phoenix, and then you just can simply scan in the QR code, and then the Lightning payment is already on the phone of the other person.
You in the audience who are using Apple Pay or Google Pay or something else, it's just as easy as that. You just it's a click and pay. So no worries about having this payment too difficult. How do you feel to spend real sats to coffee or something else, haircut or whatever, instead of just holding your Bitcoin? How is your position on that?
It's a very good question. And this was also a question which my wife asked me. Why are you gonna spend Satoshis if in the long term the price will be a multiple of the price of today? So yeah, in other words, it's I think good to see that the technology is working and how fast it goes through Lightning. So I think it was a good experience, and I think when you have in mind that you have, for example, a savings account and an account for day-to-day payments, it's not a big deal, because you would separate also from your mindset perspective the two things, right? The saving account, where you grow your stack maybe day by day, month by month, year to year, year over year. But with the day-to-day account, like your Lightning wallet, it's absolutely fine spending some sats, right? So this is, I think, also where I think it's maybe the next stage for people who have only the store of value thought in their mind, and not rather yet, let's say, a day-to-day wallet or account for that. Yeah.
After all, I think we agree on that Bitcoin is money, and you have to have your pocket money, which is sats. and then you have your savings account, which is those bitcoins you are saving. So I think, am I too far from the truth with this? What do you think?
Yeah, I think, I mean, to be honest, I mean, we are in the Bitcoin bubble, right? And when you go outside, it's still not on that level where we all Bitcoiners hope that it will be. But it's great to see as a Bitcoiner that it would work, right? So I think this is kind of proof of work, right? that it really works that way. It's not just an illusion, right? That this is something where people have to develop, or just talking about quantum computer, you never know what is going to happen if the quantum computer will, I don't know, exist or not exist.
All right, Christoph, if you think about the wellness angle on Obonjan, I mean, you already told us that the sun was very, very hot there, and temperature was, and the weather was great. So your wife ran morning meditation there and took the lightning payments, or at least tips from them participants. Whose idea was that, and how did it come together?
Yeah. Before the event started, we were invited into a Telegram group, right, where details were shared, like where is your tent, for example, on the island? How does the island look like? In which area are the parties, and so on and so forth? And it was clear that it is a work in progress agenda, right? Organized from the community for the community. And due to the fact that, my wife is a certified relaxation coach, I was saying to her, well, don't you want to just organize in this nice area on the sun deck where the ocean and the waves are just next to you, this kind of morning meditation? And it was a perfect opportunity at the end to show what kind of contribution everybody can give, right? No matter what kind of talents you have. The one guy was the DJ, the other guy was the chess master. There was a chess tournament, for example, as well organized. So it was so diverse, right? The people were so diverse, and from this wellness perspective, it was just a nice opportunity, and it was nice to move your mind and nice to move your body as well, or to relax as well, right? So for everybody, there was something. So for example, I ran in the morning, 6:45, and then afterwards I just went directly to the morning meditation, which was just a perfect start into the day.
So I mean, Christoph, you are a long time Bitcoiner, at least compared to your wife. And what's it like watching your spouse become a Bitcoin merchant on the spot, receiving sats from strangers for something she created?
We yes, we worked on that kind of a QR code before we went to this island, and having this flyer in hand, and then she said, "Oh, let's see how does it work." She never tried Lightning. It was the first experience for her. But it was just fantastic after the meditation to see, wow, people did participate, right? Scanning in after the meditation, the QR code, and sending over some sets. So this was already the best experience, I think, to see Bitcoin is working. Bitcoin is technology. And what was also, when you're talking about, my wife, it was also to hear the story, the Bitcoin story, from a different angle, from different people, from maybe not only male, but also female, right? The female perspective. It was just very valuable. I think this was something which I couldn't explain to her. So it's something where other people explain it from a different angle, with a different perspective, with a different history. Long-term Bitcoiners, short-term Bitcoiners, everybody were around. So this was, I think, very nice to be convinced that Bitcoin is just not a scam.
Yeah, it's a great thing that the female community is growing all over in the Bitcoin space. There's real overlap with our wellness work. What did the sessions teach you about Bitcoin as a tool for everyday people, not just tech people?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, talking about Bitcoin Bootcamp, our project and our vision to have the sportive aspect integrated into Bitcoin was great to see that this is already happening, and this is already this is already around. There was one guy, and maybe we can invite him if he's interested in BitFit, and greetings to you, BitFit, who is a personal trainer. And is coaching and a kind of, I would say, strong drill master. And he was also offering some sports courses. Waterball, he was actually like kind of the referee for the waterball. And one guy told me was it at the airport? I don't remember. But he told me afterwards, oh, he was so exhausted. He stopped the time in the last minute and extended the time of the waterball game. So this was really, I think a good experience, but a hard experience sometimes for people. But you see that this sportive aspect is already in mind, and I think we are also coming from our sportive background, and to see also Bitcoin like a marathon, right, like a long-term game, is also something what you have in the sports, right? You don't become, let's say, the pro sportsman or sportswoman after training one day. You get fit when you train and exercise every day, and it's a journey. Yeah.
Oh, that's excellent. So coming back to this sound money, sound health thought. Why do you think Bitcoiners are so drawn into fitness? And what does that overlap mean for what we are building on Bitcoin Bootcamp?
Mm-hmm. It's like building a muscle. I touched upon a little bit what I said earlier, that you have to train, you have to study Bitcoin, right? This is like a kind of training schedule where there is a lot of complexity, if you want to say so, to understand this technology on the one hand side. On the other hand side, you have this long-term thinking, because when you see also the price of Bitcoin, it, I think, reflects very well how the adoption rate is going, and there is ups and downs. And this is also something which you can compare to the sports. I mean, there is a great feeling when exercising and when maybe achieving a goal like I don't know, a half marathon or something. But there's also maybe a down phase where you see, wow, you have to train hard, right? You have to train hard. And I think we are at the moment in this kind of situation in a bear market where you have to train hard, where you have to recognize what are your thoughts, right? What do you think about it? And are you 400% convinced about it, or are you still having doubt in your mind? So I think this is something where also Bitcoin tells a lot of things about yourself. You can learn a lot about it. And there was one great talk from one person who was saying, okay, Bitcoin is at the end neutral. It's not something where somebody is excluded. Everybody can take part, no matter how your past is. How if you had, I don't know, a past where, I don't know, you lost your health, or you lost your job, or whatever, you lost your bank account, you still can take part. So Bitcoin doesn't judge. It tells you,
I think that's a very good point and very important mentioned that money should be neutral. And actually, last week when I had a Bitcoin Bootcamp session with a group, we had a discussion about neutrality of money, and also there we pointed out that, of course, if we give money someone, it can be bad or good actor. It should not judge. I completely agree with you. So I see that you have a new fresh haircut, and as you already earlier mentioned that you have visited Hertoshi haircut chair. So who is Hertoshi, and how does a Bitcoin only barber operate at one of these events?
Yeah, firstly, he's a very sympathetic person, yeah, he mentioned it over there several times. We are in a bear market, so it's even more important to stack sats. So therefore he offered, I think, a lot of slots for Bitcoiners to do a haircut. And it was, I think, the best spot ever for a haircut. Maybe I can place in here a short photo about this location. It was just an amazing view, looking through the pine trees into the ocean while getting a haircut. And yeah, interesting thing what Hertoshi told me, that the most interesting conversations with clients he had, due to the fact that he's Bitcoiner and has done and offered the service for Bitcoiners. So this is also something, what made me thought, right? And thinking about values. So I think a big value for a lot of Bitcoiners is freedom. And this is also, let's say, something which bonds people, which connects people, having quickly very, very interesting discussions, in-depth discussions without talking with a mask, right? Just talking about, very interesting.
So let's talk about sovereignty and the bigger picture around Obonjan. The Zitadelle culture is heavy on self-custody, not your keys, not your coins. Did being around these people on Obonjan who actually live that change anything for you?
Yeah, absolutely. This was also a key in some of the talks, right? To be sure that you're sovereign. Of course, with the regulations like MiCA or CARV or DAC 8, it's getting more and more regulated, meaning, in other words, you have to stay safe and sovereign as much as possible. This means, on the one hand side, of course, sovereignty means also to track your Bitcoin purchases accordingly. So in case that there is a regulator, like, I don't know, the government, which would like to see where did you buy which Bitcoin and how much, right? This is actually something which you should track, meaning your your KYC coins should be tracked definitively. But then there's also the topic, which was also this as part of this kind of privacy talk, non-KYC coins. So meaning, we don't know how the future will look like, but it could be, I don't know, that the government is saying, some governments are saying that non-KYC coins will be forbidden. Could be, right? And in this case, you have to think what's your plan to stay sovereign. The first point to stay sovereign is actually a hardware wallet, right? Like that you hold your private keys and not an exchange. This is, I think, a very important topic. And for maybe beginner, this is the first step to think about. And the next is then, do you want KYC coins or non-KYC coins? One point regarding KYC coins and non-KYC coins. So in case that there is a point where you need maybe fiat to, I don't know, to buy something, right, in our current system. Then it's necessary that you have this track record, right? With non-KYC coin, this could be potentially difficult, that some exchanges, they accept it at the end. There is ways, but it would be at this point too complex to talk about this. Maybe we can have here another episode on, let's say, privacy possibilities. But this is also something where everybody of us have to have firstly, a clear idea which way to go.
So, Christoph, what's one talk or one idea which shifted your thinking on Obonjan?
It's the people. At the end, it's the people where you see Bitcoin will not disappear. Firstly, it's a technology which will not disappear. It's an open source protocol. But secondly, it's just the people. It's not. I wouldn't say that it's one talk, but it's the conversation with the people where everybody has its place. There was so different people, but with every people, you could have a very nice, inspirational conversation. And I think this is a big takeaway beside the atmosphere. It was just a great spirit, a great atmosphere. People were joking, laughing. It was a kind of really a flow which you can feel in conversations and all the activities. You could see that.
Christoph, if someone in the audience is on the fence about going next year, what would you tell them, and who is it for?
Yeah, it's actually for everybody, for non-coiners, I would say, who are not yet Bitcoiners, but interested in financials, to get a first idea, let's say for beginners, but also for long-term Bitcoiners. My suggestion would be go to 21.space, to the website, listen to podcasts. There is a very good podcast from 21, Bitcoiners. And if you look there on that website, there is a lot of meetups to get a first, let's say, idea about people, about Bitcoin, and that would be my suggestion.
So, Christoph, strip away the run around the Obonjan Island and the haircuts and the meditation. What's the one thing from Obonjan you want to bring back into your own life and into Bitcoin Bootcamp?
Yeah, I think it's the ease and flow. So this is something what I really feel, that of course we were in a bubble on an island with nice weather, with the ocean. But I think this is something which I already took in this day where I'm back home, to have this feeling to be connected on a way which doesn't feel like you have to hustle. You have to hustle every day more and stuff like that. No, it's the difference. You can let it flow, right? You can let it run. You can just get connected with people and joke and laugh, right? This is something which I take definitively from this island.
All right, Christoph. Thank you so much for the insights and news from Obonjan. Really looking forward to our next episode, whatever it will be. So, in the audience, welcome again. Follow us, give us a like, and take care and stack your sats. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.